part of you increasing your confidence is going to be increasing your competence, because it's very difficult for you to be confident, especially if that's not how you naturally are, if you don't have anything behind you that brings you value as a man. All right, what's good? How to increase how to increase your confidence right now. Okay, let's lay a few things out first. As a man, your value as a man is determined by what you can do, what skills you have, right? It's your level of competence, right? What can you offer the world? Here's the thing. There are men who are born with a natural inclination or proclivity to just be more confident in themselves, regardless to how competent they are, right? They may not have all these other characteristics they may, you would think that would make you more confident, but it's a part of the personality, it's part of their nature to just be very basically borderline arrogant, in a general sense, especially when it's not tamed, or when they don't have any kind of self-awareness, or what's what I'm looking for, not self-awareness, but regardless, if it's unchecked, they end up just being very arrogant. And here's the issue that we have now too, right? Because I want to go into how you're going to increase your confidence, but I need to explain this dilemma we have going on right now. Okay, so we have a dilemma where there are a lot of men who complain about women not liking nice guys, and they always go for the jerks. Why do they always go for the jerks? Why do they always go for the bums, right? They may not even have a car, they may not even have a job, they may not even working. They don't have these other things that you would think would make them a more suitable pick, right? But for some reason, women like them. Women just like jerks. No. Women like men who are masculine, okay? And part of being masculine, part of being a man, is not only being confident in yourself, but not being afraid to say what you think and deal with the backlash for it, right? Standing your ground. That kind of stuff is very, very attractive. That kind of stuff is very, especially for women, it's comforting, even though they could be wrong. That doesn't mean they're never wrong. But it's about a man really being a man. I think that in a lot of aspects, we've stepped away from what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine. So what happens is we revert to what? Our default. And some people have a personality that is more geared towards just being arrogant and not caring about what people think about them, or about what they say, or any of that, okay? And women naturally are going to be more attracted to that than some guy that may be in a better position, maybe economically, but he's afraid to say what he thinks, or he's a little shifty, he's not confident in himself, right? They don't want to do that, because realistically, a woman wants to be able to look at you and be like, hey, he got me. If we married and something pop off downstairs or whatever, he's gonna get up and go see what's going on. He's gonna take care of it. That's what they want, right? And the thing is, there are not necessarily that the man who's less confident in general won't be able to take care of things, and if a situation got sticky. But what we're going for is there are indicators, right? Okay, so that level of confidence, that level of, I don't care if people think about what I'm saying or whatever, that level of fortitude, I guess, is an indicator to women. This is natural. It's an indicator to them that, hey, they can trust you. You're in a sense, you gonna get it done. You're not gonna fold. You're not malleable. You know what I'm saying? The issue we have here is men have at least the men that are complaining about women not liking nice guys or women only going for jerks. It's not because they're a jerk. You don't walk around and be mean. That's not how that's not what it is. It's that these men aren't afraid to be who they are. Okay, so part of your confidence, this is, I would say, one part of your increasing your confidence is going to be, you need to be okay with who you are. Okay, and that doesn't mean that again, I've talked about this before. That doesn't mean that you don't do anything in terms of self-improvement, but you don't need to be afraid of what somebody else is going to think about how you think, how you may view something, right? Or just things that you may be interested in or whatever. as a man, you can't be so malleable like that. You can't be like, oh well, I'm not gonna say this because maybe, or I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying, like all this. You gotta be concrete. You gotta be, be a little more stoic. Don't let everything. Don't react. You don't have to react to everything, right? You don't have to cave in or give in, or you know what I mean. Like a woman wants a man who is going to stand their ground in every sense. You know what I mean? Even if he's wrong. You know what I mean? A woman wants a man who's going to stand his ground, who is going to be confident in himself and in his decisions. And not only that, when you're confident in your decision, to some extent, you're also prepared to take the responsibility for that decision. So one of the good qualities in a leader, and one quality that people want in a leader, right? Men are supposed to lead, especially at their house, and to lead everything, but at the very least, you're supposed to be leading your house, right? If you have one. One quality you are supposed to have is you are supposed to be confident in your decisions. And you need to be prepared to take the responsibility for whatever happens once you make that decision, whether it goes good or bad, right? A leader doesn't have to have a perfect track record to lead, or for people to feel comfortable following him. It's not about people following him. They don't necessarily follow him because he has a perfect track record. The leader is still human, right? He's just a man. But let's say they have a good track record and they are very confident in their decisions and how they're going to go about doing something, and they're prepared to take the responsibility for what happens on the other side. Okay, so there's that aspect of it, right? That aspect of your confidence. Be cool with who you are. Be okay. Don't be afraid to say certain things. Don't be overly concerned about what another person's going to think or say about how you are or how you think or any of that. Okay, it's not about being a jerk. It's about standing your ground and being a man. And the reason we have this issue where people think that it's about being arrogant is because men they're not being taught how to be men and what it means to be a man. And when we default to how we are, and a lot of men who just end up being very passive, and you have the men who have a natural proclivity to being more arrogant and standing their ground, they're going to win every time. Don't matter how much you got. If you're passive, if you're not going to stand your ground, if you're not going to be confident in yourself and your decisions, and if you're going to be really malleable, right, and you'll change based on what's around you, they're not going for that. So, the next thing, if you want to increase your confidence as a man, and this more so goes for all of the people who aren't naturally confident, right? The men who aren't born like that. For all of you men who aren't born like that, and I'm one of them. I wasn't born, if you've read the book that I'm going to refer to here, most men aren't born like command men, okay? They aren't born with that kind of attitude, right? If you're a regular guy like me, and you were born, even to be more so leaning towards being more passive, okay? For one, you need to acknowledge that that's the case, and you need to increase your competence. Part of you increasing your confidence is going to be increasing your competence, because it's very difficult for you to be confident, especially if that's not how you naturally are, if you don't have anything behind you that brings you value as a man. Do you have any skills? Do you have a job? Well, how much money are you making? Do you have your own place? Do you have your own car? Are you working towards any kind of goal? It doesn't have to be some big, but just something, some form of improving, some form of thing you want to accomplish. Men have their rapport and their reputation and their value based on what they accomplish in this world. Okay, it doesn't have to be something astronomical, but that's just how it works. And if you don't have any of those things, if you aren't working towards any of those things, it's gonna be very hard for you to walk around and feel like you're the man. You can't feel like you're the man because you're not the man. You're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I do think there is a baseline of things that men should know how to do. Here's what I will say, okay? I think that increasing your competence in general, all across the board, will benefit you, right? So I do think that there's a baseline of things that men should just kind of know how to do. Understanding how to take care of a home, fixing different appliances, general maintenance on a vehicle. You should be fit, okay? If you are not working out, if you are not in a place where you're very active, if your job isn't very active, You should be fit. You should be healthy. You should be taking care of yourself. Okay, physically. Do not neglect that, especially younger brothers like me that are, in the early 20s. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. All right. Don't eat whatever. Okay. So there's a baseline level of competence you should have as a man, right? And then you can go into more very specific things, like something you may really like to do. Even if it's music, or maybe you like archery, or maybe you're really into guns. You know what I mean? But just in general, all those things that encompass being a man, you don't necessarily have to be really great at one thing. But just start investing in yourself. Like I said, pick up a certain, and I'm gonna make a separate video about this, but you want to pick up a certain baseline skills, just of stuff you need to know. You don't necessarily have to be a jack of all trades, but just baseline stuff that you should just kind of know, regular knowledge. So increasing your confidence, you need to increase your competence. Okay, especially if you aren't one of these guys who was born naturally like that, increase your competence, pick up a skill, or just increase your level of know-how in basic areas of life, and search yourself. Be okay with who you are. Okay, don't be afraid of what somebody's gonna think. Don't be afraid to lose people. Let me just say that real quick. Okay, as a man, you are going to lose some people. You are going to have some people who may not like you for something that you say, and you have to be okay with that. And part of the problem too is that a lot of men get in these relationships and they do these things because they're afraid to lose the woman. All right, look, man, if you ain't been married for a minute, or if you have been dating for a long time, do not be afraid to lose that person as a man, because, like I said, if it's not some long-term thing, you haven't been married for a long time, you're going to lose people for what you believe in, or for what you think, or what you decide to stand on, or for how you are. Okay? Again, this is not neglect, you improving yourself. If you're obnoxious, or if you're extremely arrogant, you should probably work on that. But if they just don't like you, or if they just don't like how you think about something, and you're right, don't be afraid to lose them. You're going to lose people. Okay? Don't be afraid to lose a woman, and don't let her see that. Okay? That's gonna turn her off. And that's another video, but that's gonna happen. Be prepared for that, and that's a part of being a man. And saying, all right, well, hey, if I make this decision, some people ain't gonna like it, and that's fine with me. You have to be able to do that. Okay? So start somewhere. Look into some things you can pick up. Don't waste your free time. Please don't waste it, especially in your youth. Don't waste it. So anyway, I don't have too much to say on that. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick tidbit, I guess. If you want to increase your confidence, increase your competence. Okay, all across the board, baseline stuff, and invest in some skills that you may particularly be, really into yourself. All right, and I'll make a separate video on, what I think just is a general baseline of things that all men should know, things that people's dads don't really teach them like that, if they do have their father in the house. So and if you want to increase your confidence, you need to start searching yourself and learn how to be okay with yourself, and be prepared to lose people for that. All right, look, man, that's all I got. Y'all be easy.